In my latest episode of my Arctic adventure, I crossed an incredible milestone, the Arctic line. It was a daunting yet exhilarating experience as I rode my motorcycle through the relentless storm that had been battling me for 3 incessant days. The blinding storm was a formidable opponent, but the spirit of the journey was keeping me going. However, I was now at the critical point of my journey. I was in the heart of the storm, and I needed to find a safe haven. And whilst the beauty and tranquility of my location was striking, there was an underlying fear that gripped me. As I set up my tent, which had been my stronghold for the last few weeks, suddenly it didn't feel as safe as it did a few days ago, and I was terrified that the storm would cause the fjords to rise so high that it might risk flooding me out. The sound of the wind howling and the waves crashing against the fjord was a constant reminder of the danger lurking just outside my fragile shelter. Despite the fear, I was determined to continue through the storm and make my way up to Nordkapp. It was a long night that night, but eventually daylight did come.
We stayed last night. Oh. I'm digested. So yeah, it was high up. The tide wasn't going to hit me, but it was like at the bottom of those rocks, and it just sounded so freaking loud that it like got me really worried. So onwards and upwards we go. So we have had a really late day today. It's probably 12 lunch, and the reason being is because I decided.
The plan was always to take the ferry across to the Lofoten Islands. The Lofoten Islands are an area that stretches across the turbulent waters of the Norwegian Sea, far above the Arctic Circle. Despite today's grey and dull skies, there's an undeniable charm that radiates from this place. The towering mountains loom large and their peaks shrouded in mist, all adding to the mystery allure of the landscape. Small, quaint villages nestled amidst these wonders, and the colourful houses providing a striking contrast. These islands are a magnet for adventurers worldwide, offering a treasure trove of places to see. And even on a day like today, the raw beauty of the Lofoten is enchanting. It's easy to see why the Lofoten Islands are so attractive. And with this goal in mind, I departed from my camping spot this morning. I packed up my campsite, swung my leg over the saddle, fired up the engine, and I navigated away. I took one last look at the place that had been my home for the evening. Ahead of me lay the route to the ferry, a path that promised to lead me closer and closer to my final destination. The air was crisp and the roads were blessed clear. The thrill of the journey had begun to set in, and I guided my motorcycle towards the ferry port, ready to embark on the next chapter of my adventure. As magical as this journey had been crossing the waters, I had forgotten the one cardinal rule of motorcycle touring. When there's a toilet available, you use it.
I need a wee. I need a wee.
I am an avid promoter of wearing all the gear at all times. However, sometimes wearing 6 layers just isn't convenient, especially when your fingers are cold through.
I'm not fond of how normalised it's become for me to pee behind a tree. I'm going to be honest.
Now that that crisis was averted, I pressed forward on my motorcycle, the landscape blurring past in a whirl of colours. The afternoon sun shone brightly overhead, casting long shadows that danced along the road. The journey was demanding, but it also fueled my determination. As the hours ticked away, I found myself taking fewer and fewer breaks, completely engrossed in the rhythm of the ride. The hum of the engine, the wind whirling past my helmet, the open road stretching far into the horizon, it all created a sense of tranquility. The roads weren't always the best condition, but it still made it part of the fun. Trees, rocks, waters, towns, they all passed by, each with their own unique charm. But my destination lay further ahead. As I rolled off the main road and into the camping spot, I was greeted by the sight of a quaint little hut, with a sign that said registration. I parked my motorcycle outside and made my way inside the hut to pay the campsite owner. A friendly man welcomed me. As I handed over the camping fee, he casually mentioned that a group booking had cancelled their reservation less than an hour ago. He informed me that ordinarily camping would cost £20 a night. However, given the bad weather and the recent cancellation, he offered me the entire cabin for an extra £10. The catch? I just needed to make sure that it was clean in the morning, ensuring that it was ready for the next visitors, saving him the extra work. I hesitated for a moment, weighing my options. Seeing my indecision, he added nonchalantly that the cabins were equipped with heaters and a kettle. His words hung in the air, and I considered the chilly night outside. The promise of a warm cabin and a hot cup of tea was just too tempting, and so with a nod I agreed to his offer. The idea of being able to dry off all of my belongings and my boots and my socks, as well as being able to charge all of my equipment, it was just too tempting. It was an offer I couldn't refuse. My dinner that evening was probably the worst meal I'd had on the road yet. No matter what I did with the rice, I just couldn't stop it being crunchy.
Good morning. We are outside Alta. I'm in a cabin. I've got like cramp in every single one of my muscles. I'm full of cold. And today is going to be the final push. I've decided to do the 7 hours in one day to Nordkapp because today is going to be the only day where basically the storm's going to be light enough. That's my alarm going off telling me to get up. I hear you. Oh, that noise. But yeah, I suppose this is one of the benefits of staying in accommodation is like when I camp, because of like the amount of stuff I have in the tent, like the blankets and like the sleeping mats and the food and the foil blankets and getting everything ready. It takes me like a good hour and a half every morning to pack up. So my alarm goes off around this time, and then like pretty much the next 2 hours are a write-off, especially if I want to have breakfast, because like having breakfast will be like half an hour. Having coffee will be like another half an hour. Then I have to go wash my plate and cup up, and then it's just like I have to pack everything away after I've dried it. And then I suppose one of the benefits of like staying in like accommodation is you just wake up and you're good to go. I'm just full of colds. And one of the benefits is that I've been able to like mass charge everything overnight. So we're on the last charging leg now. In fact, I'll give you a tour of the cabin. Let's get up. Oh. Hello, my name's Safi Sprocket and welcome to a tour of my cabin. Today we're going to be having a look at the most exciting thing ever. So as you can see, I have 4 beds and no friends. Yeah, this was so cheap because basically they had a last minute cancellation and they just wanted to fill it. So I suspect it would normally be like 33 quid a bed or something, but basically I got the whole cabin for 33 quid. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. Over here is a nice mat that I have made very soggy from walking in with my boots. Over here, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Over here we have the mass charging Exodus. Over here we have the little heater that is currently drying out my waterproof socks. I'll turn them inside out again. And then over here we have the other heater, which is currently drying out my boots. And we're getting there slowly. They're just still so super damp. I could do it just like a hairdryer, really. And my gloves as well are just still super freaking damp. Like, probably set fire to the cabin now, you watch. So yeah. Over here we have last night's food that I couldn't finish. And then because there's no sink in the cabin, I just brushed my teeth into the bowl knowing I would clean it up in the morning. So yeah, and this is my mass dump everything on the floor because it's wet last night. So there we go, this is my lovely cabin. It's not much, but it was the best thing in the world last night. I think this trip is getting to me a little bit. I think I'm a little broken, guys. I think I finally lost the plot. I finally got mad. Good God. Okay. On the road we go.
This one was completely my fault.